Good morning. Just making this video to try to make some sense to this crazy world that we're waking up to every day. And I believe perspective is vitally important. And as a Christian, we need to make sure that our perspective is in the right place. I use a very much a God-given filter that's very simple that helps me to deal with the landscape of this tumultuous world that we live in. And it's really two steps. One, love God. Love God with all your heart. And number two, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's going to prove if it's of God or not. Ask yourself, does this honor God? And does it love others as you love yourself? And if it doesn't fit that, you know where it comes from. And it's not God. Another thing that we hear all the time, ever since we're little kids growing up, fairness, fairness, fairness. You know, growing up with my brother, I wanted the bigger piece of the cookie, and my brother, oh, it's not fair, or they got a half a glass more than me. You know what? In life, I've come to the conclusion that we don't want fairness because it will not work out for us. And my point behind that is all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. What I want is grace. Okay? I want grace. For fairness for me will not end well because all have sinned. And that's my perspective, not on this tangible world, but into something on a much greater, more permanent, infinite, the forever. Where's your treasure? Is your treasure? If your treasure's on this earth is what you have, your health, your wealth, and God gave us a great number of examples how to deal with this. Jesus Christ was born into one of the most repressive, horrific governments ever to be on this earth. Consider this. Can you imagine being born into a province where the governor, because they are insecure in their power, orders the military, their military under their control, or police, or whatever you would like to call them, orders them to go into the homes of the people and take any male child under 2 years of age and kill them there on the spot? Well, that's what Jesus was born into. Herod ordered the death of children, taking them out of their mother's arms. That's why a lot of people miss Christ, because they were so angry at the Romans for their abusiveness that they were seeking vengeance, but God had a greater purpose. God was looking to save us from our eternal bondage. Okay, that's a key point. I can imagine Christ himself as he was bloodied and beaten and tortured. This is the Son of God. Had all the authority and all the right to smite everyone. But he held back his tongue. Do you know what he said as he's dying on the cross? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Okay, what's our example? Vengeance isn't for us. Vengeance is the Lord. It says in Proverbs that the Lord is a just God, and he will take up the cause of the oppressed and hold it against those in power. So be careful. But vengeance isn't ours. If you plant a seed, you get more of it back. If I'm a farmer, if I plant carrot, I get carrot. If I plant corn, I get corn. And I get a lot more than I planted. Violence gives you more violence. Hate gets you more hate. calling it, rebranding it, doesn't matter. It's a fundamental rule. It's part of God's natural order. You reap what you sow. So sow love, the fruit of the Spirit. Okay? Doesn't mean to be weak and pansy about it. You know what? Be firm. Be firm on what you believe. And know that God has a greater purpose. Just consider the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven. Okay, that's humbling oneself before God. God, you're above me. You have a greater purpose than me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. You are holy. Your kingdom come, your will be done. Giving God the authority in our lives. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Lord, may I be a vessel of what you will have done in heaven. May I be receptive to that. May your will be done on earth as it is done in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread. You know, you are a provider. And all the good as you sustain people, the feeding of the 5,000, and Elijah feeding him, and when he was out in the wilderness, and Moses, you know, the manna. Okay, give us this day our daily bread, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. You know, forgive my trespasses, as I forgive those who trespass against us, loving one's neighbor. Love God, love others as yourself. Okay, remember, your first ministry is to you, yourself, and your family. You have to love oneself. Self-hatred and self-deprecation, that's not of God. There's a big difference between conviction and guilt. Guilt separates you from God. Conviction brings you to God. So if something's separating you from God, you again know where it's coming from, and it's not God. Then at the end of the Lord's Prayer, I go back to that again. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. For all the glory goes to God. And that's the answer. You know what? We serve the Prince of Peace, a God of love, but a just God. And woe to those who hurt the innocent. God hates, loathes the shedding of innocent blood. And with that, I want to encourage everyone. I am not a preacher. I am a simple person who just felt like I should make a video and try to encourage those that, you know what, there's a whole lot more than just this physical world. For the battle isn't against flesh and blood, but it's a much higher level. And with that, may God bless you. May you have a great day and be encouraged. Because greater is he who's in you than he who's in the world. And that is something I can stand on. God bless. Bye.